Commissioners. Hi, Governor.
Yeah, there's gonna be a ton of folks who are here for the time walking in, so just make sure to keep this lane clear.
Totally.
Sorry. Can you move in a little bit? Sorry. Thank you. We have to stand here. We are not moving. There's some more space back here if people want to fill in.
Sorry, guys.
Like behind.
We all set? First off, let me begin by thanking everyone for being here this afternoon. We really appreciate it. This is an historic occasion for our families and for the state of Nevada. There's so many people I want to thank without whom this would not be possible today. I want to thank by starting Majority Leader Atkinson and Speaker Fireson and all those in the legislature who helped and worked so hard to get this bill to my desk. I want to thank the constitutional officers who joined me in testifying at Tuesday's hearing in an effort to ensure that the will of the voters is finally implemented with this law on the books. I want to thank the countless volunteers, activists, moms, dads, students, educators, and organizations across the state who have spent years advocating for policies to address gun violence. We owe today's victory to you. Without your steady activism and demand for our state to do better, we could not be here today. And most importantly, I want to thank the survivors of gun violence who over the last several years, and especially this week, have displayed tremendous courage in telling their stories. I cannot begin to fathom the pain that you feel as a survivor of gun violence. And I cannot begin to match the bravery that you have displayed as you turn your sorrow into action today. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. The bill I'm about to sign is long overdue. Common sense gun measure that will make Nevada safer and has the power to save lives from guns and violence. We have already lost too many lives across the country to guns. With this bill, we're taking an important step to address the nationwide public health crisis that is gun violence. And we are making our children and our families safer here at home by making it harder for potentially dangerous individuals to access a firearm. But that's not all we're doing here today. In addition to being sensible policy, this bill is in effect the will of the voters finally cemented into law. In November of 2016, the majority of Nevadans made it clear they wanted us to do more to address gun violence. But for 829 days since then, they've been ignored. That finally changes today. To all of you in this room, and to the vast majority of Nevadans who voted for this in 2016, I'm so happy to tell you that the wait is finally over. So, without further ado, it is my pleasure, and with great pride and the highest honor, to sign this bill into law. The time?
109.
109. Thank you all very much for being here on such a historic day, and it is a humbling experience to be able to do this. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're so welcome. Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, exactly.
I'll get you later, buddy.
I really did because I didn't get it first. I was like, what is he?
Sorry, John. Go ahead.
Michael, what are you doing here?
Sorry, guys. I'm sorry, guys. Excuse me. I'm gonna jump over there. Forgive me, guys. Sorry. Forgive me. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Sorry, guys. Excuse me.
Background section.
Do you think this is going to happen as quickly as it did, or did you make it there?
I'm glad they all got over here today to sign the bill. I know a lot of them are home this afternoon, and I'm up here, but I'm glad it happened. I'm glad they could all be here to witness this happening. And an incredible amount of volunteers. There's so much time and effort into that. A lot of them are here today, and a tremendous amount of calls and emails, and we appreciate their hard work in getting us to this day.
For those that are opposed to this, should this come as a surprise? I mean, you campaigned on this, did you?
It shouldn't come as a surprise. I hope it doesn't come as a surprise. That the will of the voters is what we said we were going to implement. That's what we did. I mean, this is, like I say, this is the voters voted for this, and we're just putting this into law, cemented into law, and I think that's a positive thing.
Governor, what's next for you in terms of bills that might affect gun safety? You mentioned bump stocks, silencers.
We'll see what comes out of the legislature. I've got 2 or 3 visits left to go with legislators. I think I've done 60, something like that. Several of them have got bills proposed. They asked for commitments. I said, let's wait and see what gets to my desk. I'd asked them to consolidate them. We'll see what comes forward before we decide to do so.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you. What's up, man?
All right. Coming after press conference.
Not to me. I can't speak to the so I see what my I read, I follow you.
We'll see what happens.
No, oh, come on. Don't do I'm disappointed that we didn't get more unanimous support, as I said. This is the will of the voters, because I would expect to represent the will of the voters, and that's what we get to represent the will of the voters, and I'm proud of that. I'm confident that they're accepting the loophole.
Yeah, exactly.
My message to them is thank you. They worked incredibly hard to get us to this day, incredibly hard. I'm proud that they got here, and I'm proud that they got to share the experience with us.
Hey, Helen. They have Kara and B. They were here late. Yes.
Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I just need a few shots. Go.
Excuse me.
All right, one more over here, please. Want to get the bill?
Okay, protect this. Now I have one job.
All right, Andrew has the picture.
Sorry. Thank you. Quick question, Majority Leader. Can I ask you just a couple comments?
Yeah, 1 second.
No problem.
Who wanted to?
Sure. Sure. Thanks. I'm going to get this back up real quick. So, here with Majority Leader Kevin Atkinson. Majority Leader, so what do you think about today?
Historic day. It's been something that's been long coming, something our citizens have been waiting for. They asked us to act on this 2 years ago, and I think we're finally in a place and an opportunity to honor the will of our citizens.
And I know, as you said, it's a long road coming to get here today. It's been, 2 sessions, election and a half, and a cold day. And you're here. So naturally, the next question is, what's next?
I mean, we got a lot of things next. I mean, there's our legislative priorities this year is a few pages long. We move on to the next issue. That's just what happens in every legislative session. We still got to get collective bargaining for our state employees. We've got a budget we've got to fund. We've got some transportation infrastructure that we're working on. We've got some homeless issues that we're working on. We've got affordable housing. So there's a list of things. I think people will look at today's events and think that that's what the session is all about. But we're capable of moving on. We have a constitutional authority that holds us to 120 days. We've got a lot of work to do.
And I guess I have to ask, you did get this done rather quickly. This is, month in, and it was considered possibly one of the bigger tasks to get done.
Yeah.
Do you see anything else being just as heavy of a lift, or is this the softer of the lift?
Well, I mean, we're going to have some tough issues. I mean, that happens every legislative session. Does it feel good to get one of those tough issues off of our plate so early? Absolutely it is. And so it allows us to focus on a few other things, but no doubt about it. I mean, the session's long. People have got to eat their Wheaties and drink their milk because we've got a long session, get it go, and it's just, again, just one big issue that we were able to get over early in the session.
And, I mean, I guess that will be the next natural question since we're now past this. What will be the most difficult thing you can think of off the top of your head that could pose a delay to things this session?
I don't think anything will cause a delay. I just think that things will take time. I mean,
Thank you. Better words.
Yeah, we just, there are some few other issues that make time. We're looking at property tax issues. We're looking at an education budget. We're looking at affordable housing. Those issues are going to take some time. Numbers, and people, and different districts. All those things dictate that there's going to have to be broad conversations on those topics, and I think those issues will take some time.
I guess I'll close with this last question, kind of a two-parter to a degree. As I asked the governor today, what thoughts he had to those who opposed the bill today. What comments would you have to that?
A reporter asked me this the other day, and as I said before, I understand. And so you've got to understand that we have 21 senators in our body and 21 different districts. And some of those districts, it didn't pass. And so I understand that from a standpoint of some of them feeling like they have to honor the will of their voters. And just like I'm saying, we have to honor the will of ours. Now, particularly, there's a few Republican senators that are down south who I happen to know the question did very well in their district. So it's a bit disheartening to see them not honor their constituents and do the right thing and vote in the positive. I mean, I know they came later and said they had amendments, and had we accepted the amendments, maybe they had voted differently. I disagree with that. This bill's been out there for a long time, a number of years, and they've had time to work on it if they wanted to.
And alternatively, same question asked the governor, to those who have been victims of gun violence, and mainly from being from Clark County, you had experienced the Route 61 event. What message do you have for them today?
Christina, who I spoke a lot about, and was killed by her boyfriend at a daycare that my daughter attended right down the street from my home. 2 kids were shot. They survived, but the mom is deceased. So now these 2 kids have to go without a mother. Giovanni Melton, who I got really, really close with his mother. 14-year-old kid killed by his father. His last words he heard from his father was, "I'd rather have a dead son than a gay son." I think this honors them. I've heard from his mom. If you go to my Facebook, she's all over it. His birthday is 3 days from today. And so I think that this is a great honor for him.
Thank you for your words, and I'll let you kind of carry on with the celebrations there, sir. Thank you, Ty. Since my interview with Nevada State Senate Majority Leader Kevin Atkinson.
These are my survivors.
You mind if I get y'all in one shot?
Just a shot?
All
Okay,
together.
a shot.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Actually, I kind of want to talk to y'all at the same time.
Well, just a brief one.
Sure.
They're
Yes, it's a celebrational day. So, okay, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and light the recorder up. And I'm speaking to
Jenny Heyman.
Sarah Mahler.
John Sisolak.
and if I may ask, what brings you all here today?
To watch history in the making. We're very proud of our governor signing this legislation today to make Nevada safer, to address public safety concerns, epidemic gun violence, and stand up for the will of the voters as well.
And if I may ask individually, what individually brought you here today?
To help in any way we could as far as getting the background check issue.
Oh, you did fine. Thank you very much.
To prevent any other lives being lost.
The reason I'm here today is basically because we spent a lot of time and effort money to get this thing passed, and then it was supposed to be blocked by from the thought it was really a good thing. So we're glad that we now have a governor, Democratic governor in the House, the Capitol, and we have a great Attorney General, Aaron Ford, as Attorney General. And with that, I think we can move forward a lot on the gun issues, gun bills.
And so, I guess naturally this has been a very highly emotionally charged issue for all involved. And I imagine this is probably a moment of high celebration as opposed to opposing feeling. You know, what was the spark for you guys that got you involved in this effort initially?
For us, it was the loss of our son by gun violence. Our son was murdered.
I'm sorry.
And this was our way of trying to help save other lives.
Yeah, from my point, in my lifetime, I've been through 4 separate suicides, friends, coworkers, and I finally decided that I need to get active in something. And we got together with Mom. I got together with moms. I became a mom's supporter, and we all got together and volunteered to get signatures to pass the legislation or the initiative, which we did, and it was a great day for us then. Of course, the legislature didn't act on it, which is basically what we wanted.
In the 17th session.
Yeah, no, in the 15th session.
Yeah.
And so basically, our intent was to get this to the people to have an actual vote, and we did it. Even though it was not a big margin, voters spoke, and then we had the issue with Attorney General, and our previous governor, and they blocked the thing for like 2 years. So now we're happy we got the right people in place, and we're going to go forward with other issues.
Okay.
And we're involved, basically.
I wanted to say Sandy Hook and Columbine were sparks for me. I'm a mom, and I remember thinking when I first heard the news for Columbine, where was the mom? And it took me about a half an hour to say the mom and the dad inside my head. And then I know my kids were little. I grew up in a different time. When I went to school, we had fire drills. And we knew we would be safe because we all knew the drill and we all knew the firemen were coming. Kids now have active shooter drills and they know they're not safe. No matter what happens, in the best case scenario, they know fear when they go to school. And that is unacceptable to me as a mom. And that's what sparked me to like the moms on Facebook in just a moment, and I've never looked back. We all need to stand up for public safety.
And I do appreciate you all spending the time to talking about this. I guess I'll close with this, I guess, since I don't want to tie you up too long here.
Yeah, we got a date for Disneyland.
We're going to eat something. We're going to lunch. Do you want to come out to lunch with us?
Yeah, sure, we'd love to.
I may ask on this, because I guess it's a two-pronged question for both of you guys, and again, forgive me for asking. Because this was a very heavily charged issue for a lot of people. There were a significant opposition to people, a lot of people in the state who opposed this bill.
Yeah, there was opposition to seat belts and car seats for kids, and all of them are uphill battles for public safety. There's always another point of view. There's always somebody that it doesn't like one little word in here. We're doing the best we can, and today is a great day for Nevada.
And what message do you have for those who do oppose it?
I share her message.
We're going to lunch, Sean. Come on, push the last button.
I would like to say that we're not here to take people's guns away if they're law-abiding citizens. We're just here to try to, if you're mentally adjudicated, that you don't have a gun and don't have a gun, whether if you're a criminal and you don't have a gun. So that's what we're trying to do. We're not trying to take guns away from law-abiding citizens. We're just trying to make our streets safer, and you don't have to.
It's very emotional for them.
Oh, I understand.
But that's the reality.
That's the reality.
That's the reality of gun violence. It never goes away. It doesn't matter how many years go by. If you've experienced this one time in your life, it's the rest of your life. And people need to understand that this bill, if it keeps one person from getting a hold of a gun, what happened at Route 91 happened because of one person. And this bill will stop hundreds of thousands.
And I'll close on this one for you all, and I'll be quick. For those who have fortunately suffered the tragedy that you have suffered, what message do you have for them today?
This is hope. This is wonderful. This is just the start of putting sane and safe gun legislation. Sorry, let me start again. This is hopeful. This is amazing. This is just the very start of putting in the safe gun laws that we need.
I did it with what she just said. That was great. Yeah, I'm 100% in agreement with you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys.
And we're from the Brady Campaign to Prevent Gun Violence. He is also from the Nevada Gun Safety Coalition. So all of our gun violence groups in Northern Nevada and Southern Nevada, we work together.
Yeah. Right. We teamed up for this event, and it's a great event.
It's a great event, but it's just the first of many. We'll be back.
Let's hope.
Can I get your name, by the way? I'm sorry.
Christiane Brown.
That's right.
It's CHRISTIANE and then Brown.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm Heather Sallin.
Oh, Miss Allen.
Yeah.
Can I grab you in a little bit?
All right, we got to go to the governor's office now, guys.
Okay. Thank you very much. Send my group here. Sorry, Miss Allen, I do want to talk to you. Someone suggested I speak to you.
Okay.